Welcome back to Really Legal. I'm attorney Ethan Behrman. This has been a wild week with Michael Cohen on the stand for direct and cross-examination. I'll give you the good, the bad, and what's next. So let's start with the beginning. Again, the prosecution had their first run at Michael Cohen. He's their witness. And I think they did a pretty solid job. I don't want to say it was exemplary. It didn't blow me away. I don't think there were a lot of surprises from the prosecution when they were getting Michael Cohen to say on the record what needed to be said, that this was all being done for Trump, at Trump's direction. Michael Cohen, I think it's really important to note this, though, which is I had a lot of concerns coming into this, just very bluntly, that Michael Cohen was going to be a potentially problematic witness for the prosecution. So now that this week is done, remember, they're not going to be in court tomorrow on May the 17th, Friday, May the 17th. They're off tomorrow for Donald Trump allegedly is going to go to his son Barron's graduation. By the way, give me your comments below. I love your comments. Tell me, is he really going to go to Barron's graduation, or is there going to be something else that he's going to be doing tomorrow while he's out of the courtroom? You know, Sleepy Don, it's funny. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here for a second. You know, Joe Biden really did a great job with this presidential debate coming up. Throwing it off for a second with June 27th on CNN, September 10th on ABC. Mic can be cut off by the moderator. No live audience. What a brilliant move on the part of President Biden. And as I remind people, if you follow me on Twitter at Ethan Behrman, I don't call it whatever that other guy has named it, the new owner. It's Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. Stop calling it something else. But the point is Joe Biden nailed that. He gave a great State of the Union speech. He needs to be out there to reinforce what he has accomplished. Tremendous set of accomplishments in his first term as president. And I think people forget it. And the right-wing media constantly pounds only the bad news about Joe Biden and Democrats. And he needs to be getting out there. Also, quick note on the debate that I think also was very smart. We have a number of states that start early voting on September 20th. So if we had waited until the end of September and October, like tradition in these presidential debates, people have already cast their votes. So Biden's team was very smart to get both of these scheduled before early voting starts. So let's go back to Donald Trump not being in court tomorrow to allegedly go visit his son Barron's high school graduation. I'm not a betting man, but what do you think the odds are that he actually goes? I'm going to put it at about 70% because he doesn't want to piss off the judge any more than he already has. And remember, Judge Merchan has fined him $10,000 for violations of the gag order. Trump has done his best to go right up to the line. We saw that this week in the trial, handing notes to his surrogates to go say what he would have wanted to say outside the courtroom, but can't because of the gag order. And by the way, what a pathetic bunch of fools. I honestly, I've said this now since a number of times since 2016 when the Republican Party collapsed at the feet of Donald Trump and has continued to do so. The sycophancy of people like Matt Gaetz and Andy Biggs, oh my gosh, Andy Biggs, and Lauren, what's her name again? I mean, Beetlejuice, Lauren Beetlejuice, is that what we're calling her now? You know, showing up to be sycophants. She couldn't show up to her own son's trial, but she can show up to Donald Trump's trial. I mean, do they have any values, anything, any morals underpinning what they're doing other than, you know, let's be honest, many politicians, including some on our side, are seeking power, money, and fame. So, but these Republicans, it seems like all they're doing is being, card-carrying members of the Trump cult at this point. So, all right. So Michael Cohen on the prosecution side did a great job, kept his calm, kept it together for the most part. You know, he's a human being. He testified to what he needed to testify to on cross-examination. Redirect will be next week on Michael Cohen. On cross-examination, I don't believe that the defense did much to achieve their aims. So remember, what they needed to do was twofold. They need to impeach Michael Cohen. So impeach means to get the jury not to believe him. He's not a believable witness. He has the deck stacked against him on that topic, Michael Cohen does. Because he's been convicted, because he went to prison, because he did one set of things for Donald Trump and then has done a set of things to make money. I mean, we saw him in his, prison garb making fun of Donald Trump business this week and TikToks and everything else. But I don't know that they got there. I think that the defense went, let me phrase it this way. If I was the defense attorney for Donald J. Trump, who of course I wouldn't, and my job was to impeach Michael Cohen, I would have moved quickly. I would have gotten right to the heart of the fact of you're on social media, you're making money. I would have kept it moving fast. I think that's the biggest mistake that the defense did is Todd Blanche has been reported from inside the courtroom more than once, takes a long time, hours, to get to the point in front of the jury. Jury doesn't have that level of patience. They don't need to. They're going to see through ploys, gimmicks, tactics. Jurors are generally smart. Remember, before I was ever an attorney, I served on a murder trial. I've been through the complexities of all the different testimony and why I say what Michael Cohen has done to adjust his speaking style from the Trump Organization trial. One of the things that gave law enforcement a lot of credibility as a juror and to my fellow jurors in this murder trial I was on is the police always were calm. They answered succinctly. They spoke in a calm and even voice. And they weren't shifty. They weren't looking around. Some of the other witnesses, it's like, oh, I don't believe you. You just came across as unbelievable. I think Michael Cohen achieved that. I think Todd Blanche did nothing terribly persuasive. Let me put it that way. In my opinion, to persuade the jurors not to believe Michael Cohen with what he said about Donald Trump and that Donald Trump was ultimately responsible and that everything he did was, with certain exceptions, was for Donald Trump's benefit with the effort of affecting the outcome of the election. I think that that's really important. The second thing as a defense attorney that you want to do is get Cohen to contradict himself. And he did a little bit of that today, by the way. I'll give Todd Blanche some credit. The exposure of Michael Cohen's cozy relationship with Maggie Haberman, for example, from the New York Times, dozens and dozens of conversations with her dating back to long before Donald Trump was running for president. That cozy, close relationship, I think, was potentially damaging to the prosecution, or at least to cast some doubt if this was just part and parcel to Michael Cohen's strategy to help his boss long predating the election. If it swayed one of the jurors who's actually voting at the time, at the end here, that could be seriously problematic. So Todd Blanche didn't entirely fail. I think he might have succeeded on that one key point. So look, next week, they're not in trial tomorrow. Next week, they're going to be in trial on a Wednesday because of the upcoming Memorial Day holiday. The big question next week is going to be, will Donald Trump testify in his own defense? I think that's what this all comes down to. If he testifies in his own defense, somehow overruling his attorneys on this case, I think, I don't want to call it a slam dunk. There's no such thing as a slam dunk in criminal trials. But boy, I don't know how he doesn't get convicted. He will contradict himself. He will impeach himself. And if he doesn't, the prosecution sure will on cross-examination. But also we'll have the redirect of the prosecution trying to shore up Michael Cohen next week. I think it's going to be really exciting. All right, so the good, the bad, what's next? Good, prosecution did their job. They really did. And I don't think the defense fully succeeded. the bad. Well, we're going to find out if that one issue related to the journalists gives enough question of doubt. Was this really unique to the election, or was this just part of a pattern? I saw that as the one real opening that the defense opened up this week. And then what's next? We just described all of that for you. So look, I love your comments. Please comment below. You've got to share this video. I'm asking you, please share the video with others. It's really important to help us out here. And click that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Tell me all of your thoughts down below like you do, which I enjoy so much. I really do. I am attorney Ethan Behrman. This is Really Legal on the Really American Network.